Welcome. This is Her America. I'm your host, Chaida. Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about an issue that I think needs to be talked more about, and that is interracial adoption and fostering. How do I feel about interracial adoption? I feel great about it. In fact, I encourage interracial adoption and fostering. I'm all support of it because it is just going to mean more kids coming out of the foster care system and into places called homes and be with people they can call family. You'll be surprised if you're like an outsider of the foster care community, how many people are kind of against interracial adoption because it seems like a wholehearted, very selfless thing for people to do. To adopt, to go out of their way adopting people, adopting kids out of the system, and especially opening their homes to kids who may not look like them. When I was in the foster care system, I was asked by a social worker when I first was coming into the system if I prefer a black family compared to a white family. She may not have asked it exactly like that, but it was something to that basis. As a kid, I was very taken aback by that issue because I didn't really, in my mind, I didn't really construed the weight that she was asking. I thought she was asking if I prefer a home with people who look like me, but I didn't realize that there were a lot more to the question than I thought, because in my mind I thought, okay, maybe it would be nice to live with a black family. But then I thought to myself, why does it matter? I just had all these like thoughts coming into my head, like why is she asking that of a child instead of somebody that is more of an adult and who may have known what's better for me? Because foster families aren't, it's not like shopping a catalog or looking through a catalog. Foster families are people who are willing to make sacrifices and open their homes to so many vulnerable children. You can't treat it like shopping. And I felt like it came across as if it's like shopping for families when it's totally not the case. I want to discuss something that I discovered back in 1972. There was a National Association of Black Social Workers that was established in order to preserve the Black family unit. They believed that Black children who came into the system should stay with Black families. And their purpose with doing this is to ensure that the kids are raised by somebody that looks like them, that could understand the things that they're going through, both socially, not both, but socially, um, economically, fundamentally, spiritually, and even emotionally. This sort of precedent sets a very segregated view on the foster care system, in my opinion, because it treats everything like a black and white issue. And if you know anything about the foster care system, it is not exactly black and white. There is a lot of nuance and a lot of issues that take place that affects a kid. And if there is something that's going to be stopping a kid from entering a very loving home, that should not be the case. A case of skin color should not be interfering with a kid going into a loving home. So when I say that I'm all for interracial adoption, I mean that I am all for it. Multicultural people adopting children who do not look like them, because it just means that more kids are going to grow up and be part of a happy and healthy environment. And the argument that I hear from people who are against it is that white parents will never understand the cultural importance of blackness. They don't know. For a lot of cases, they don't know how to do black hair or know a lot about black culture when it comes to a case of a white family adopting a black child. Well, what do you have to say for white parents who have biracial children who do not look like them, whose hair texture is not the same as them, who has this whole other side of themselves that is tied to their blackness? And obviously, I watch social media. There are so many families out there, so many parents who are willing to get out of their comfort zone and learn how to do their kids' hair, who's learn how to do their kids' hair in a way that they don't know how to because their kids' hair texture is different from them. And if we want to talk about these tactical things of it, there are so many ways that people can learn how to or understand different cultural backgrounds of the kids that they're fostering. And I don't think that should just be taken to account because of something. I just think that this whole interracial adoption debate is just so strenuous because there's so many kids who could be in homes that they're not going to be a part of because of this so-called issue of I don't know, fostering or segregation or discrimination, because at its core, the 1972 case with the National Association of Black Social Workers is considered discriminatory because you're basing this that it's better for black kids to stay with black families for social, cultural, and even fundamental purposes. And and then when I think back to what my social worker asked me, I think that's what she was alluding to. That maybe it would be better for me to be raised by a black family rather than white family because of um, my background and my race. When in actuality, it's just probably would have been better if I was displaced with a family that could be um, that can provide a happy and healthy home for me. Because looking back, the first foster home that I was a part of wasn't exactly the case for me. It wasn't always a happy and healthy environment. And I will share more about that in another episode of Fostered Stories. And I'm really excited about this series because I want it to mean something. I want people to come to my platform, to come to my podcast and feel that they can, you know, to feel educated and to feel like they can learn more and more about the foster care system in America. And I'm hoping that I can learn from something from this too, that there will be more opportunities for me to share other stories of young people like myself who went to the system, and what are ways that what are some ways they would like people to know about more in the foster care system. So with that being said, thank you for listening, and this has been Her America.